Hey guys, I just wanted to take this moment to remind you to subscribe. I'm just a small YouTuber with big dreams, and you subscribing is 100% free, would totally make my day. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm at like 650 right now, so if you subscribe, that would literally be amazing. I will love you. I will give you a cookie. Okay, here's the video. Hey guys, it's Katie, and welcome back to another episode of Create This Book 2. It's already the 10th episode. I literally cannot believe it. I feel like just yesterday I was posting my first ever episode, and I can't believe we're already like about halfway through this thing. I just got this new watercolor paper, so hopefully my art will be better than this. Let's get started. So I decided to do one of the pages that kind of went together. The first one says create positivity, fill this page with positivity, and the second says create negativity, fill this page with negativity. So I'm a positive person,
And I love positivity.
and I wanted to get the negativity one out of the way. So we're starting off with the negativity page, and I'm doing watercolor, so it's on a separate sheet of paper. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm drawing sadness from inside out. I thought it was
Genius.
to do sadness and joy from inside out, because like they're literally that, like it's literally exactly the prompt, but it was like clever. I don't know, I thought it was smart. So I'm actually drawing it from this scene on screen. It is like the lava scene where she is floating on a thing, and I thought this would be relatively easy and cool to draw. Now that I think back on it after knowing what happens to this page, I wonder why I tried to tackle this and why I thought I would succeed. Why? Just why? So for the lava on the floor, I thought it'd be a good idea to start with like some layers of like brown and gray, and then put a pile of other colors on top of it. But what I didn't realize is that if you start with a dark color on the bottom, it's going to be really hard to cover it up and make light colors on top. And you're seeing a lot of my head because I'm trying to get in these real details with the hair. I do think that Sadness herself turned out pretty good in this. I just think that the lava was the part that I was really struggling with. So at this point, I was just trying to pile on as much color as I possibly could, trying to get it to look lava-y. And I mean, I think it kind of looks lava-y, but no, not really, sis, no. So let me spare you to the part where we decide to scrap this page. So I spent a very long time on this, but I just still didn't like it enough. I was not about to put that in my book. So I got a plain sheet of paper and started completely again from scratch. I still really liked the sadness idea, so I kept sadness in there. I just made things easier. I didn't put her laying down. I decided not to really use a scene from the movie and just kind of create a scene myself that I feel like would be easier and make the negativity theme a little bit better. So here I am drawing. I drew sadness there sitting in a big rain in a puddle, and then we have like an umbrella flying away, and then a bunch of huge overdramatic raindrops. And I liked this a lot better. It was a lot more simple, kind of got the negativity aspect in there, and I feel like I could use a lot of negative colors. I also have her standing in the puddle because in the movie she always talks about how she loves
being in the puddles in the rain and being sad in the rain.
So then I made the sky, and I made it gray to represent a sad rainy day, and then some bluish grayish raindrops which I filled in. Then I filled in the sidewalk and the puddles, and Sadness herself, of course. Along with the new watercolor paper, I also got new micron liners, and it's been a lot better. They're a lot thinner, easier to use, and they don't bleed through paper nearly as much as Sharpies do, so I'm really happy about that. So here I am filling in Sadness wearing her little turtleneck sweater thing, and yeah, I just filled her in. I think she turned out pretty good. The colors are pretty on point, and I'm just fixing up a few things and before I color in the umbrella. Although this page represents negativity, I also wanted there to be something that would stand out on the page, and so I thought a bright red umbrella would really kind of add something to it. So I have a bright red umbrella flying away into the wind, and that is kind of what gets the eye catcher. Sorry about my head in the frame. I was doing those little dots. And then here I am doing my Mod Podge, which for some reason took a long time. Okay, and then here I am finding the page and gluing it into the book. I upgraded to an Elmer's glue stick, but I ended up running out of that one and downgrading to another Walmart one later. So yeah, I'm just gluing in the page finally. I'm just so happy that I finally got it done, because this page, no joke, took me like 4 or 5 hours, because of the amount of times I redid it, which was only once, but it felt like forever. So here's the final page. I'm actually really proud of it in the end. It took a lot of work, but I'm just glad that it's done and that I'm happy with it. Speaking of happy, this page says create positivity. Put positivity on this page. So obviously I am drawing Joy from Inside Out. I am drawing her jumping up in the air with her dress on, and there's going to be flowers around her and things like that. So very light.
Positive, happy, fun, all that jazz.
So for some reason, whenever I've tried to draw flowers in the past, I have just failed miserably, and I cannot get them to look good enough for me to actually want to keep them in the book. But today was my first time succeeding drawing wildflowers like this, and so I'm pretty proud. They're not perfect, they're pretty basic, but I'm pretty proud of them, so let's not judge, okay? Let's not judge. So I'm breaking out the watercolor, and instead of doing a boring gray background, we're doing a nice light blue background because, of course, this is positive and not negative. So you cannot really see the blue at all, but I promise blue is going onto the paper. I don't know why, it's just not showing up for some reason. So in addition to the tall grass and the flowers, I also added those little things in the sky. They're based on the little symbols that you see next to Joy all the time, where it's uneven little star shapes. So yeah, I think they're kind of cute. It was just a fun little addition to add to the blank sky, because otherwise it would have been a little bit boring. So next I was coloring in Joy's dress, which is actually more green than you'd think, although it looks very yellow in the video. And then I'm adding the little star thingies that are on her dress, which turned out not as good as they could have been, but fine. I started doing her hair, and then while that was kind of drying, I went and did some of the flowers. So those are little, I don't know what those are called, the purple little lavender plants. I have little sunflower type plants, and then some other cute flowers. And yeah, I think the flowers turned out a nice cute addition, and overall the whole page looks kind of joyous and happy. Then I was coloring in the grass with the green. I really like how the grass turned out as well. I think that turned out good. And then I added the yellow on top of the little stars to just make it stand out, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm gluing it with my upgraded glue stick into the positivity page, coming off the excess. And yeah, here's the final page. Did not take me nearly as long as the other one, but I probably like it just as much. It's really pretty. So the next page says create color temperature. Use warm colors on this page, use cool colors on this page. I don't know why I did not film the instructions, but I didn't. So I decided to draw two people on this page, and they were gonna have warm tones on the left and a cool toned kind of person on the right. And this one on the left is based off of this picture that I found on Google, not anybody particular. And then the one on the right is based off of Nikki DeMar, one of my favorite YouTubers. I love her fashion, I love her style. I just really like her, so it's based off of her. Yeah, so the one on the left has red hair, which I'm beautifully coloring in. I think I nailed the curls pretty well. I was worried about being able to do the curls good, but I feel like I did them pretty well. Also, I just wanted to mention that I know that Nikki does not always have blue hair. Right now she has orange hair, but I'm drawing her particularly when she has blue hair, because that's always what I think of her as, and I needed somebody to have blue hair for the prompt, and it reminded me of her old hair. Anyways, as you can see, I originally was going to do white polka dots on the shirt, then I added an orange outline, and then I went ahead and filled them all in orange. I think I kind of wanted to have a more yellow and orange aspect to it to add to the warm color vibe. And then I colored in Nikki's hair, which was not the best coloring I could have done, but I think I did decent at it. Coloring in her eyes, which gave me some trouble. I think the one on the left definitely looks a lot better than the one on the right. I am not very great at drawing people. This is just me practicing, so let's not judge how they look. They're not perfect at all, but I quite like them. And yeah, after I add Mod Podge, here is the final page. I quite like this one. It's just me practicing drawing people, and I think I did decent. Okay, this one, I promise I did film the beginning part of this one, but for some reason I couldn't find it. So yeah. This one says create randomness, scatter random things all over this page. And that is exactly what I did. I just went on Google and I looked up doodles. And then I found some that I liked and modified them to my own style, and then I just drew a bunch of doodles. Some things I just came up on my own, some things I just found online, some things I just completely random. I had the Chipotle logo in there because I love Chipotle. I got a music note. I got this random wiggly dude at the bottom. I got a flower. I got a planet. I got the YouTube logo. I got the really badly drawn Hamilton logo. There's more coming. There's more coming, guys. I literally just scattered a bunch of random cute cartoons all over the page, and you guys don't know how long this took me to draw. I would say it was like probably like an hour at least just for the sketching process, and then probably another like hour or hour and a half to do the coloring. But here I am going in with the liner, again using that micron, which doesn't bleed that much through the page, even though the pages are pretty thin, so I'm pretty impressed with that. I actually had a lot of fun doing this page because there was just so much creativity available. I could just draw literally whatever I wanted. It was fun to just be able to draw whatever without having to worry about it fitting into the prompt. But I first actually saw this prompt when I first got the book. I was like, oh gosh, that was not going to be fun. There's like, it's not very specific, so I could literally do anything. It's going to be hard to decide what to do. But I'm like, Katie, come on. You need to take it a little bit more literally and just draw randomness, and you will have fun. And I definitely did. I actually got new colored pencils for my birthday, because as you guys know, Tuesday was my birthday. And so this is going to be the last time you're going to be seeing my good old Crayola colored pencils, because I got some nicer ones. So yeah, get excited for that coming up. But for now, I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the satisfying of me coloring in this random stuff. So here's the final page. Believe it or not, this is actually probably one of my favorite pages. I just love how fun and crazy it is, and yeah, I really like it. Create handprints. Place your handprints here. So I really wanted to finish off with the kind of easy page. I feel like the other pages have been a lot of work, and I just wanted to do something kind of fun and relaxing, so I chose this page, and I figured it'd be pretty simple. So I started by hand printing that orange one down there, and then I started doing a bunch of other colors, so basically all the colors of the rainbow, but red is pink. And then once I did all of those, I decided to make a big rainbow thing in the middle to look almost like a butterfly. So essentially, here I go, putting that on there, and I did both sides. Really brought me back to kindergarten when we used to do those hand turkeys. It's like that, but instead I'm making it a butterfly.
Kindergarten vibes.
And yeah, basically I'm speeding through this part because I end up getting rid of these handprints eventually and using different ones. I thought this was going to be a nice, easy, simple page, and yet I still found a way to make it complicated. So I was going to do these colorful handprints in the background and then put that butterfly thing in the middle. But then when I saw it on, I realized that it's just too much. Like, it looks like too much going on. There's too much color. The butterfly thing doesn't really pop out enough. So here I am actually making the butterfly thing with these little antennas that I have attached to it. And yeah, so then I get out this Mod Podge, and I Mod Podge all these handprints, which is really sad because I'm almost out of that Mod Podge, and I just wasted a lot of it on those handprints because I didn't end up using it, but it's okay. Then I started gluing them in because I was going to put them in and then have the other handprint on top. I put them all on and I realized how busy this is going to look. So I decided that I think I want to get rid of the thing in the middle and just leave the handprints there, like I see here. And so then I went ahead and filmed, here's the final page, da 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 da. But then I ended up changing it completely, and I didn't film it when I changed it. But this is what the finished thing looked like. I ended up creating gray handprints in the background and then putting that finished butterfly thing on the front. And I think it looks a lot better. And I'm glad that I'm finally finished because I made it way more complicated than it needed to be. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I just have to include my shout outs real quick. So I actually have 2 shout outs today. The first one goes to this person on screen for commenting on my videos. Camera's foggy for some reason. Thank you so much for commenting on my video. It really means the world to me. If you guys want a chance to be the shout out in next week's video, all you have to do is comment down below whatever you want. And also, I would like to give a shout out to Nelly, who sent me this really amazing note and bracelet. Thank you so much for giving that to me, Nelly, and thanks so much for watching my videos. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye!